Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese, episode 409. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Matt Sellner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. Coming at you like it's lockdown all over again. Matt, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing swell.
Matt, if you were a sailor, which sailor would you be?
Oh. My first instinct was to say Harvey Dent.
Perfect. Yes. Sailor Harvey Dent. That's the one.
It was, I was thinking of like Davy Jones, but I don't know. Somehow I got the Harvey Dent.
Davy Jones, Harvey Dent. I can see that. I get that.
Squid face, half face, you know.
Yeah. More on Squid Face next week, I think. We might be playing some of that, but
yeah.
All right, so you're Sailor Two-Face, I guess. That's your code name.
I wasn't expecting
never got
that one.
I was thinking of stuff last night for not a cold open, because it's not like we have a cold open, but I didn't know how to top Vina Colada from last week, to be honest. That was something good. Couldn't quite get the Photoshop the way I wanted it to, but hey, we did.
It'll still look good. Fine art.
Do what we can.
We did submit that to Mountain Dew, right?
Mm-hmm. I emailed Jim at mountaindew.com. I figured he'll take care of it.
Hey, if not, we got Cliff's contact.
That's true, man. That is very, very true. Matt, of course, is speaking of our
friend.
We shouldn't open a show talking about products. It just seems like everything's paid, but no, I feel myself coughing because I'm still coming down from the cayenne lemonade flavored G Fuel that I had this morning. That stuff's been good. It's been a lot cheaper than going to the local gas station to buy energy drinks for $2.99 a pop, plus tax. And of course, when you go in there, you can't just buy one energy drink. You got to get yourself a Reese's Fast Break to go, king size, of course, meal replacement. Hashtag what up? Hashtag
Team Gamma.
Be alive anymore. Yeah, that too. Team Gamma. That's the thing. Matt, we're going to spend some time today talking about parties and video games, Donkey Kong. But first, we're going to talk about a little handheld with an OLED screen.
There's life. There's still life.
Nah, no. But Nintendo does what Sony forgot how to do. Matt, this week Nintendo announced the Nintendo Switch OLED model, which has a vibrant 7-inch OLED screen with vivid colors and crisp contrast. This was announced on October 8th. It is launching... this was announced on Tuesday, July... 6th? 5th? 6th. And the product will launch at $349.99 on October 8th. So it's a $50 price difference between the current Switch model. The differences between it and the current Switch model are a 7-inch OLED screen. It is 0.1 inches wider. It comes with a different dock with built-in LAN and seemingly more venting inside of the dock itself. That's it.
Someone did say that flap on the back is now a full pull-out piece. Minor difference.
Okay, right. The flap on the back of the vent or of the back of the dock is full pull-out, and I guess the kickstand on the back of this thing is now a full-width kickstand.
Yeah.
The dock is also 0.1 inches wider to accommodate for the upgraded width of the system itself.
And that stand evidently has resistance all throughout, so you can get different viewing angles.
Okay, that's good. One thing that I watched the Digital Foundry video where they kind of reacted to this one, and one thing they were pointing out is through Homebrew, the Switch at its current CPU GPU can do a little bit more in performance if you overclock the CPU. And you can see games running a little bit better. However, it does make the system significantly warmer. But they're not saying that Nintendo will do this, but seeing the additional venting in the back of that dock, they very well could increase clock speed on this thing to make it run games better when docked. Not that they will, but they could. And the vent seems to be, at least a signal that they might have tried that, or at least kind of know that themselves. But ultimately, this thing ships with 2 models. You've got your traditional white, red, neon color model, and then you've got a. Did I say white and red?
Yep.
Red and
all
blue.
The colors. You said all the colors.
Right. Yeah. This comes in black. No. It is neon red, neon blue Joy-Con, and then you have a white version as well, with white Joy-Con that look hot.
I do. Well, I'll get there, I guess.
They look hot.
I like the white.
Yeah. So this launches right alongside Metroid Dread, and I guess. Oh, I'm sorry. In addition to the OLED, I guess there are a couple things. They doubled the internal storage from 32 gigs to 64, and they've enhanced the speakers. So speaker output is meant to be a little bit more of surround sound. The way that I imagine it is, I don't know that this is the case, but like the newer models of iPhones in the last few years where you kind of get sound output from the top and bottom of the phone. I think that's kind of what they're implying, is that you'll get a more surround sound while you're holding it in handheld, but who is to say? Matt, I'm pretty happy about this announcement because Nintendo just told me I get to save $350 this year. Where do you land on the OLED Switch?
I wish I was in the same boat, but I don't know. I think there's, I think it's not FOMO because I could care less, but I think there is this competitiveness to beat other scalpers. And I think that's going to be the bigger game for me is can I actually pre-order one and buy it? But
they delayed Breath of the Wild 2 on you, so you got to play something this fall, right?
Oh, I got plenty to play on that Switch this fall. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about it at all.
I mean, you have to play the game of Beat the Scalpers. That's your new...
Yeah. Because I had nothing to play on my PlayStation, I needed something to fill the void.
True, exactly.
But no, I it is what it is. The people that are upset about this, if you kind of look at the history of revisions from Nintendo, this kind of falls right in line.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know. It is what it is. I'm personally am getting one because it would give my girlfriend the opportunity to use my old one if she wants to play Animal Crossing on the TV. Also, you can't go wrong with having a second dock. I'm sure that would be useful at some point in the future. And now that this has the built-in LAN, that's kind of nice as well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like a big thing for you in the next year is going to be Splatoon 3 whenever that does launch. And that, I mean, having LAN support for that game alone is worth it. Yeah, I agree. Like, if you look at the history of Nintendo upgrades, this fits the bill entirely. It's like, it's the same form factor. It's iteratively better. It will slowly phase out the other model. Not that they've said that. They've, they're leaning into, this is just a third part of the Switch family. I really believe that we will get a 4K model next year. And I bet that they probably wanted to do that for this fall, but this was an easier upgrade to make. And this also does that kind of half step, right? Like they can test a lot of things out with this model that will then come out on a 4K model proper next year or 2023.
So that brings me to my question. Is the 4K model essentially just a dock that your Switch goes into and gets the boost? Like almost like an external GPU on a laptop?
I think you asking that question is probably the difficult part for Nintendo to answer as well. What is a 4K Switch? Is it literally just a 4K Switch? Is it literally just a Switch with some of these new, improvements to the screen, battery life, etc., that also outputs to 4K, or is it something more? And then, how long before you get to the point where you're starting to just look at a total successor to the Switch? And what do they do at that point? Do they maintain the Switch as the new handheld hybrid thing and then have a new, another Nintendo home console box that is a dedicated home who knows, right? Like they know, and they're testing that stuff now. Maybe it's an AR thing. Maybe it's a VR thing. Maybe it's none of the above. Maybe it's a
VR,
pogo
stick. They got it, dude. Just cardboard.
Yeah, I mean, I got mine proudly on display.
Oh,
right there.
they did sadly say that the Switch is not compatible with some Labo materials.
It's true.
So, sorry, rip Labo already.
Yeah, just
unless here we go. Timeout. I got it. Nintendo Labo Director's Cut, $20 upgrade for new cardboard.
There you go. Yeah, if they really want to be scumbags about consumer purchases.
Look, they're pushing white on you just like another company has pushed white on its, right on the wall.
I would say this is more aligned.
I think they're in cahoots. Conspiracy theory.
Oh my god! This is more aligned to me with Nintendo's obsession with Apple. It looks very much like I mean, the Switch has always felt like an Apple product. Not felt like an Apple product, but like when they upgraded to the Switch from the Wii U, I felt like I was holding something that Apple had designed the first time I held the Switch at that event.
Also like the ease. It's like in how good it is about the switching. Like that is very.
Yep.
It just
that
works.
was super cool.
Apple.
I remember we weren't supposed to test that, and the guy running the Sonic Mania booth at that event Mark and I went to, I was like, "Can we pick it up?" And he was like, looking around, like, "Yeah, it's cool, But like, I don't think we were supposed to actually lift it out of the dock. But like, I did it, held it in my hand, saw Sonic Mania running on it, and I was like, put it back down. Yeah. So that's out October 8th. I think it's not what we expected, but I'm very happy that one, it happened on a random Tuesday in July. So called it. One. And I'm happy that it's out there, man. Like, how long has it been that we've been wondering, what is this new Switch? When is this new Switch? And now we have an answer, at least tentatively. So I think that's exciting.
Yeah.
However, with it's not the first handheld to have an OLED screen. It won't be the last one. I haven't gone back to my Vita this week, but I've been thinking a lot. I don't know what. Something happened to me, Matt. I don't know what happened in the last couple weeks, but you know what? It's probably John Linneman's fault.
I was waiting for you to complete your sentence. I was going to say it was Digital Foundry.
It was that history of the PlayStation thing that DF Retro's been doing. Those are on YouTube if you want to check it out. It's Digital Foundry's going through the launch lineups of PlayStation 1. First started with Japan. I think last week's video was North America, and then right now we should be seeing the Europe launch lineup, and then I think he's got even more stuff planned for this whole thing. But yeah, it's been taking me back through that, and I've been kind of like looking through old magazines of that era and just really, I don't know, falling back in love with old PlayStation, and it's been fun. So I've been playing a lot of Ridge Racer on my PSP. This was like so what I did was I started going through the launch lineup games from the PSP's North American and Japanese launches just to try things out. And a lot of them were like sampling this, sampling that, and then kind of like moving on. But Ridge Racer I've stuck with all week. And it's made me wonder why we've not had a new Ridge Racer since I think the last one was around the time of the Vita launch. I'm going to double check myself real quick. Okay. The latest one was on iOS. But, in 2012 we had Ridge Racer Unbounded that came out on PS3 and 360. But since then, there's been an iOS one. There's something called Ridge Racer Slipstream. That was iOS. And then Ridge Racer Draw and Drift, which was also iOS. But, I feel like the Ridge Racer games are the perfect blend between the hardcore simulation and an arcade-style racer game. And then I've gone through a couple on PSP specifically, just trying like feel, and I've played MotorStorm Arctic Edge, which is more like you can ride bikes and snowmobiles and things like that. I've tried Need for Speed Underground Rivals, I think is the PSP one. And one other, I can't remember. Oh, and I've been playing Gran Turismo PSP. And Gran Turismo is great, but it's simulation, right? But I found the other arcadey ones were like just that. They were too arcadey and not grounded enough. But Ridge Racer on PSP is it's just like a perfect blend of everything. This one added a nitrous function. So as you you can drift, and I believe as you drift, but also as you just drive and spend time around the laps, you increase your nitrous tank fill level. You have 3 tanks. You use them independently, so you don't have to wait for all 3 to fill up to use them. And if you fill up the first one and the second one's starting to fill up, you can use the first one while the second one still fills. So that still works. But it's a lot of fun, and it's like the right amount of challenge where like you'll start a race and it's like, hey, you need to get in second place to qualify, and I'm gunning for first every time. But like, I don't know, I miss like a good Ridge Racer. I don't know. I think it's an underestimated series, or underappreciated, not underestimated, underappreciated series. But like,
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, R4 is like, every time I play R4, I'm taken back. Like, that's just such a good racing game. And yeah, we don't get them anymore. I don't know what Bandai's doing.
Besides that collection that you bought, PS4, I think that was the only time I played Ridge Racer. I played that some kind of collection you had over your house. I don't remember.
It might have been the R4 one.
Okay.
The PS1 one.
Yeah,
it might have been on a PS3. Yeah.
But whatever you had, that was the only time I played it. It was only for that one time.
Yeah, they're just
fine. Yeah.
They're good. They've like, I guess by the end of it, like the one on Vita was pretty light and sparse. Like I'd skipped the one on Vita because it just wasn't great.
You know what? I think I played something else. I don't remember what it is now. Anyway, continue.
I don't know what you're thinking of.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, that they've just kind of gotten lighter through the years to the point where I don't think there's a lot of interest in them. But I've been having fun with that and just toying around with PSP stuff again, and watching old like E3s and stuff where they introduced PSP or where they showcased upcoming games for PSP. Like, it was just such a different time, dude. Like, now you can run so many things on any device in your pocket, and like, I feel like these days, especially with the new consoles, what we're seeing is like Nintendo still, I think, wants to innovate gameplay wise. I think all of them do, right? I think all the 3 major console manufacturers still are aiming to innovate, but we're at a point of iteration, right? We talked about this a couple weeks back, Mark and I, but like Nintendo is just making the Switch better as they go along, and they're making really traditional games. Like, they're really not making games that are at this point like leaning on the Switch's hardware capabilities, right? Like, we're not using Joy-Con by themselves that much anymore.
We're not counting
We're not
marbles.
really seeing. No, yeah, we're not doing any of that. We're not seeing the like. Obviously, like the hook of being able to play it in your hands or play it on the Switch dock, you know, on the TV is still great, but there's nothing that like complements that option, right? And then PS5 and Xbox, I feel like those iterations where they're happening, yeah, the load times are coming down on things, and that's a huge breakthrough. And you're also getting like higher fidelity visuals and frame rates, but the innovations they're chasing are different. Like, Microsoft is now moving cloud-based, right? Like, how do we get things running on every device everywhere? And that's where they're putting their innovation. And everything else is just kind of like par for the course. Like, there's no, you know, but like stuff like the PSP when it was launching was like, it felt revolutionary. I mean, yes, it was still handheld gaming and whatever, but it was like, at that point, they were targeting putting a PS2 in your pocket, and they came so close to it with it, you know? Like, there were some games that were straight ports that were downgraded a significant bit, but you could do it. And yeah, the fact that like you still like, there's just so many JRPGs.
Honestly, say they were a joystick away from pulling it off.
Yeah, and I mean, like the PSP. I mean, if not for Monster Hunter, it might not have reached this, but it was still the only time in history that Nintendo had someone come after them handheld wise. It did exceptionally well in Japan. And it still did really well over here as well. It just, you know, it was not a Nintendo handheld, and there's just some sort of dominance that Nintendo has always held in that market. But yeah, I think the PSP, if they had put that right stick on there, man, it could have been something. And then when they did put it on there, and they called it the Vita,
and charged $300 for 32 gigs.
And yeah, it was the memory.
It wasn't
cards.
that, but you know, something like that. Also,
it was a combination of things.
Very confused on my games. I know what Ridge Racer is, but for whatever reason, I thought Ridge Racer went very futuristic for a bundle called the Wipeout Omega Collection.
Oh, that one. Yeah. That too.
So, never played Ridge Racer.
Oh, dude. All right. Well, you need to change that and bust out. I think the one on PSP is really good, but I think R4 on PS1 is probably my favorite one that I've played. The PS3 one's really good. That one I bought at the flea market when we went a little while back.
Mm-hmm.
That one's pretty good.
That's
but
good.
It feels weird playing a PS3 game without trophies. Not that should make or break an experience, but it's still
there.
Weird.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's there.
And yeah, like I said, this also has led me to kind of like, you know how it goes. You got to pick one JRPG. You can't do them all, right? So
Right.
I fired up a few, and I'm like getting a feel, and then it was like, do I want to replay FF1 and kind of like get that back, reclaim it from Stranger of Paradise, World of Chaos, or whatever the heck that game's called.
Chaos.
God, that's the thing, man. You open up the FF1 PSP version that came out in Europe. The opening cinematic to that is so well done, and it's gorgeous. They could have just done that, but instead they didn't. And I don't know. So I've been trying out a couple different ones, seeing which one's going to stick. It might be Persona 1, but then I feel guilty for never having finished Persona 5 or 4 or 3. So I don't know. But it leads me to a question of the week, Matt. Which game has the best party?
Oh my god, you know what?
You were thinking about Mario Party when you saw this, weren't you?
No. I saw the question. I saw the question leading into the show, and I prepped answers. For some reason, I was thinking like a birthday party.
No, I love it. That's why I specifically said which game has the best party, and not which game has the best JRPG. Which JRPG has the best party of characters? I specifically said which game has the best party, so you leave it up to interpretation. Hit me with your best party.
Okay, well, my answers for a game that wasn't probably his best effort, the after party was pretty rad because the devil's hosting a party at the top of that fucking huge ass tower.
Yeah.
And then my second answer, I was going a different route, more like a gala.
Okay.
The Paris level of Hitman 2016, because there's death.
That is a really good party. That's a very good party.
Yeah, there's a lot of
they had a good time.
A lot of possibilities. We lived in
I've
that
been
party
staring.
a long time.
Yeah, I need to. I was looking after we talked about Hitman a couple weeks back, or was that last week?
That was last
It's been great. I was looking to see if Hitman 3, like the total deluxe, whatever Nightmare Edition, went on sale, and it has not. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I want to grab that and just kind of play through all those on Series X at super high, etc. No, I think those are great answers for which game has the best party. I was inspired to make the question by Persona, and I was thinking I think the Persona games have exceptionally well made parties because you really, in some games, right? Like, if I think back to Final Fantasy 1, I loved the party that I built in Final Fantasy 1 the first time I played through it. It was my party of my people and whatever. In fact, I just booted up that save the other day to look at my clear time and all my little characters, and yeah, you remember that, and it sticks with you, like which ones you had, how you leveled them up, how you graduated them to the next class, and those things in that game. But it really was a party that you made, and it's not a set party. And in that game in particular, all the heroes are kind of, they're not one-dimensional, but there's no dialogue, there's no characterization of them other than what you ascribe to them. You get into some of the later Final Fantasy games, and I think that they really do a great job at building a solid party. But even then, there might be somebody who just kind of falls to the way. I feel like every Persona game I've always played, they've had really pronounced characters, and everyone is likable in their own way. Everyone gets an equal amount of spotlight. Even though you mainly play as one protagonist, you typically have constant interaction with the other characters to a point where you get to learn a lot about them, and I appreciate that a lot. I don't know that that's the answer for the best party. I don't know. I think Earthbound is also a great party.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Just all the way, I mean, Pauline and Ness kind of... Is it Pauline? Yeah,
Paula.
Okay. Anyway, I mean, they kind of stumble onto each other, like, kind of, sort of organically, but the rest of them, how they kind of get involved is pretty cool. And then they each bring their own traits as well. They're not just they have their strengths and weaknesses, like a good party should have.
And I think they're fleshed out.
I mean, you can easily cheat and say any Shin Megami Tensei game and just create a party of demons and just have fun.
Yeah, because all those, them too, they have their own personality and their own kind of thing to them. But see, well, then I was thinking about that too, and like the one SMT game that I've spent a lot of time with, Strange Journey, you do have a party, but then it's mainly like the main character and the demons. But I also think about Fire Emblem. I think Fire Emblem has a really strong cast of characters, but that also, like, depending on the game, you can swap characters in and out. There is always like a main protagonist, but you can kind of pick and choose your party, so it's not always kind of 1-to-1. But
I mean, I guess you got this. Has there been like another game where, like an older JRPG, where the cast they're not voice, obviously, it's all dialogue, like text, but like, has there been another game besides like Final Fantasy VII with Advent Children and now the remake that like bring those old, kind of collide with what maybe your ideologies are of those characters when they're actually brought onto to voice actors, and they might kind of clash with how you thought they might speak or, interact?
Oh, there's got to be an answer for that I don't have at the ready. I think,
because you think about, I mean, that's just a weird question, because you say about the later Final Fantasies and how they, voice acting and stuff, but like, you're brought into that. Like, you don't have the opportunity to put your own spin on these characters. I think Final Fantasy VII makes an interesting
there's definitely
case study.
Yeah, no, there's been those games though where I can't think of them off the top of my head now, but I've definitely had examples where I'm like, that's not what I thought that person sounded like, or that's not what I thought they would, whatever.
And the Mario movie doesn't count.
Are you sure?
The Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, I don't know. That's I know like the Mana games that have been adapted, but I haven't played any of that stuff. But yeah, there's got to be an answer for that. I don't know. If you know, you can write in podcast@thefreecheese.com and let us know which game has the best party. Yeah, I think you're on this. Maybe that's a different topic. We'll talk about the Final Fantasy VII remakification of things and how it warps your mind.
I
Founders.
can't believe I thought you meant like party.
No, I love it. That's why I said it, because I wanted it to be of that. I said founders, not founders, but just leadership behind Codemasters, the recently acquired studio by EA. CEO and CFO Frank Sagnier and Rashid Varachia are departing from the company 4 months after the acquisition by EA. EA told GamesIndustry.biz that their departures have always been part of the plan, but it was sped up after the acquisition. Quotes here from EA just saying, "We're incredibly thankful to Frank and Rashid for everything they have done for Codemasters and Electronic Arts, and we wish them all we all wish them the very best." They will step down from Codemasters at the end of this month, and
we'll see the release of their new boy F1 2021 that comes out July 17th, I think.
Yeah,
mid-July.
Yep,
right.
July 16th is 16th. What, yeah. So that's Friday.
Damn, right. Man.
Flying along, man. Year's almost over. It's going to be Christmas before you know it.
No, I wonder if, they were always going to leave. They didn't specify the original timeline, did they?
No.
Because it might have only been like 3 months later. I was, like if they were independent, like, they probably oversee the team moving on to the next project, kind of finishing up any post-content things related to F1 2021, and just oversee the transition, and then kind of be like, all right, I'm gone. But now that EA probably has those people that can do that for them, they probably just one of those. This might not be like a bad EA thing.
No, it doesn't seem like it is. So far,
we'll see.
Time will tell. But
initial coverage of F1 2021 seems good, though. So I mean,
that's good.
I know EA had like little to no hands in that, but
no, but it's good for them in the long run, because then when 2022 comes out,
hold your breath.
Speaking of games and long-term plans for what is happening with the future of a franchise, Ubisoft made a little announcement this week. So Assassin's Creed, they first cite that Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Valhalla did very well for them, and now they're trying to figure out what decisions do we make for the franchise to carry it into its next phase. And alongside the announcement of new content coming for Valhalla, Ubisoft is now working on a collaborative cross-studio structure between Ubisoft Montreal and Ubisoft Quebec that will guide, grow, evolve, and define the overall future of Assassin's Creed. And they have an early in-development project codenamed Assassin's Creed Infinity. So this new cross-studio collaborative structure is essentially from what it seems like, they're gonna have like a what do you call it? Live service Assassin's Creed thing? Is that am I reading too much?
Yeah, that's kind of what it seems like they're guiding at. Yeah.
Yeah. They're also kind of a big thing they call out is like working from home have changed the way they produce games, and looking at that, it's made them think about how they can do things a little differently moving forward. But yeah, this seems like a good next step for that. I mean, otherwise, what do you keep making the same kind of Assassin's Creed thing?
And they've already talked about a smaller fucking game I can complete.
Yeah, there's that too. I don't know. Are you more interested in a live service game than one with an end?
It depends how. I mean, obviously, it's early speculation, of course, but like, I don't need a Destiny Assassin's Creed game. Now, that might be over exaggerating what their plans are, and because this originally was leaked, and then I think they put out the post in kind of reaction to the leak. I think that's how the order of operations went there. But so like that live service game got thrown around. They don't want to say too much, so they kind of like go along with it. And then when you say live service, you obviously start thinking about like your Destinies and things like that. I don't know if that's what this game goes for, but I don't know. I mean, sure. I mean, they've been dumping content of Valhalla at a steady pace after I think they had an initial delay on one of the DLCs, but after that it's been kind of steady going. I mean, that game is massive on its own.
Yeah.
Along with, and evidently it was supposed to be smaller than Origins and the
Odyssey.
Yeah, Odyssey. It's like it's crazy to think about, but I don't know how I feel about it. I will say I forgot. I never played a lot of it, but the Twitterverse, it reminded me that people really liked the Assassin's Creed multiplayer, and they haven't revisited that for a while. Not the co-op Unity, like the
Brotherhood.
Yeah, like
right. And this is the same folks behind. Disguise. Yeah, the same people who worked on Brotherhood are working on this. So
yeah, so I mean, we'll see. I think they got. I mean, it's Ubisoft, so everything leaks over there. But like, I think that they were dealt a bad hand and kind of had to react quickly, and this is being looked at. I think this game is different than what your traditional live service Destiny like game looks like. Might be completely wrong. Yeah. It might literally be might be the Division 3 or the Division 3 : Assassin's Creed. So who knows?
Yeah, they didn't do Division 3 yet, did they?
No, that's what I'm saying. This is the Division 3.
Got it. Yeah. I still want to play those, but they're too long, man. I don't.
Massive.
It's like, and then that's the game. That's the entire game that I'm. If I were the dude who's buying one game a year and whatever, then that seems rad. But I don't think.
There's a lot to do. I'm not saying there's like a shortage of content. Like it's the same thing you're doing over and over. Like there is a ton to do, and you can play that game however you really want to. But I
get bored though.
That's what I'm saying. No, I don't think you get bored. I think there's so much to do, so many ways that you mix up your gameplay loop that there are ways to divert the boredom. But when you go and do the story, like I was trying to do, and I was balancing Yakuza, like a dragon at the time.
Right.
I think I played it after I got through all the PlayStation 5 stuff of Miles Morales and Demon's Souls. But, excitement of new consoles. I think Cyberpunk was due out around that time. There was a lot going on. But yeah, no, like you said, I think there's a lot of potential for the dude that buys like 3 games a year. And this is one of them. Totally. And I think there's ways to navigate the repetitive gameplay loop. But no, that game is fun when you crack someone's skull open with your axe, and you just drag them off the blade. Like that is incredibly satisfying, even after the 500th time you've done it. Not quite as good as Doom's glory kills, but like a good closer second or third.
Yeah. Yeah, those glory. I'm playing that Doom Eternal stuff to test out the ray tracing and whatnot, and feeling that again. Like, still feels great. I'm not going to repeat myself again. I'm excited for whatever it does next. I'm also excited for the update that hit Session this week. I've yet to try it, but the publisher that picked up Session, I think late last year, or earlier this year, had a Nacon Connect on July 6th with a bunch of announcements, including a new RoboCop game. But Session got its new version number 0.0.0.28, which I believe the last...
Is this a near update, or is this...
Yeah. The interesting thing to me is that they are this far in early, development, and there's still so much, and it is becoming more and more refined. Looks like now they're aiming for a summer 2022 release, coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. Right now it's out for Xbox via Xbox Game Preview and Steam. And as of, I think, the publishing deal a few months back, it's been concurrent updates released on Xbox and Steam at the same time, where before Steam is a little bit ahead. But this new update adds 2 new levels, a new skate shop in Philly with new spots to skate in Philly. They've added new skatable areas within that little the existing Philly map. They've revamped the replay editor so that you can change different keyframe types, you can adjust depth of field, you can view a camera roll, you can change how the camera is positioned on a tripod. And they've added an undo and redo feature, which is nice, because I also found like part of what Session's original thing was like they wanted you to be able to go out and go skate and film it. Like it's always kind of capturing footage so that you can then cut together your best things. And I always found that the replay editor, maybe I never took the time to learn it, but I always felt like it was really cumbersome and weird, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I couldn't really strike footage together in the way that I was satisfied with. But, it seems like there's some updates there. The trailer shows like a vertically filmed, an option, I think, to make it look like you filmed it on a phone. So I think you can do some weird stuff like that. Unless that was a tease for a phone version that I'm too daft to realize. It seems like you can edit your whole clip without using UI. You can just kind of like trim things up and then undo, redo, etc. In addition to Philly, new spots are now added and optimized for New York City. They've also added a new game mode called Skate Dice. I didn't check this out. I think I don't know. I don't even know what Skate Dice is. They had a whole breakdown video that I'm not sure what it is. There's a new tutorial. They've kind of like overhauled the tutorial of this and then added historical challenges, a new sky system that adds volumetric clouds, real-time cloud shadows, and adjustable cloud coverage. And then it's a big update. They've been teasing it on their Discord for a while, like how much is going to change with this one. And it's out now for people who've already picked it up. You just download the 8 gig patch. And yeah, they're still aiming for next summer for release, but it's actually still really cool, man.
I know you said there's a release window for next summer. As the publisher of this game, there's another game that's probably just started development when they announced that game called Skate 4, right? Skate. Is it 4? Are we on 4, right? Or
Jeez.
Skate?
I don't know if they said Skate 4 or if they just said...
I think they just said Skate. A new Skate is in development.
I'm on the bang. I got you.
So, you got this game coming out. Who knows when it comes out. But if it were to also be somehow miraculously next summer, do you shoot to go before, or do you let this game crash and burn and come back and come out after and be like, look, we're the good one?
That's a tough decision because I think that I think Skate has the name behind it and they have the EA marketing money behind it. So even if it's a bad game, it will sell well. I think inherently Session has a smaller
I didn't think
audience.
about the licensing part of that. I did not think about that
There's
at all.
There's that, but like Session's not. They're still getting some people. Like, you know, the big thing they've been showing off, like this whole trailer featured Day One Song and just showing him skate around. They had him in a Spitfire hoodie. Like they were doing stuff to make sure that like brands and names are being recognized. And I think they'll have more people sign on to join the fold as it continues. But I think inherently they're going to be two different games, right? Like they are adding goals and challenges to this, but it's not straight up like Skate was. I think you're going to have Skate purists who just want Skate and only want Skate, and that's what they know. But I think I would put this out before, and I would put it out with a big old thing at the top that says from the creators of Skate. Then you sell Session, and then you get people into Session. Skate's going to sell great as it is, just because it's got the name Skate in it. And then whether it's good or bad, you can then lean into Session as like, hey, this is the actual, you know. But it also depends on what Skate is, because I think they still might be two very different games. Like this one is more about like, I'm not saying I'm going out today because it's not that hot out today. But like if I went skating today, I would just go cruise. I would, you know, mess around on whatever I could find in some parking lot nearby and just kind of have fun for a bit before I came back. And that's ultimately what Session is. It's like the world is your skate park. Go make a line and see what you can do with it. And like, try this out. See if you can land this. Like, it's all about that, like, can I pull this off? Where Skate is, I mean, from what I played of Skate, what I remember of Skate, it's like, hey, here's a race challenge. Here's a half pipe challenge. Here's this challenge. Like, it's all like challenge based. There's not a lot of emphasis on the like, let's just go hang out. Where this just feels more, you know, the first time I played Session, even with, I mean, it was buggy. It ran poorly on my computer. And it was, yeah. But even doing that, it was the first time I felt like I was skateboarding again since I was, you know, in my early 20s. And then it was like, oh, okay, there's something cool here. And I think they've just continued to refine that and make and improve on it. So I've got high hopes for that one. A lot. Mm-hmm. It's really good. But I still think there's room for Skate. I think there's room for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 DLC for 1 and 2. That would be very good. If they did that, if Activision could pull that off, I would be very happy. Yeah, Matt, that's going to bring us to... It's 2021, but 40 years ago, a man sat down and took a bath. And after that bath, he dreamt up what would become Donkey Kong. That man I'm talking about, of course, is a fully nude Shigeru Miyamoto taking a bath after hours in Nintendo building. And, yeah, the story of Donkey Kong is pretty interesting because at that point, Nintendo was still pretty new to the video game. Everybody was new to video games when Donkey Kong was being developed. But at that point, Nintendo was particularly new and had really only put out a few arcade things that were, received fine, but nothing that set records or made retailer or arcade purchasers go wild. They had done some Pong clones. They had done some things like that, but they were primarily a toy and entertainment company, and just coming off the wake of a lot of the like Gunpei Yokoi toy stuff, the grabber hand, the love machines, the love hotels was a different venture. They were at the time and still are making the Hanafuda cards. Like they always were an entertainment and fun company. But this was really early in the stages of making video games, and Miyamoto joined as with an art background, and the idea was he wanted to create his own characters and that type of stuff. They had made what was it called? Super Scope, I believe, was the ones that got repackaged as Donkey Kong. I'm doing this by memory, so if my facts are a little bit off, go check the wiki and correct me. But they had that, and it did not really move units that well. So they were sitting on a lot of these unused arcade machines and unpurchased arcade machines, and they had to come up with another idea. So using the same internal boards, they were able to make a new game. Originally, it was meant to be based on the Popeye license, so there was this Popeye kind of idea that Popeye would go save... what's her name? Penelope Cruz? What's the little... Olive Oil from Bluto, and that got transformed into Jumpman, Pauline, and Donkey Kong. And from there, from Donkey Kong, you get everything. You get Mario. From Mario, you get Mario Party. You get Mario Kart.
Yeah, great. Mario Party, yeah. Super
Smash Brothers. Yeah, but Mario is Nintendo's Mickey Mouse, and it all started from, this was the Steamboat Willie, if you will, of Nintendo. And it's still, for me, it is the arcade game that, like, if I go to an arcade, it's the one I want to, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of just like the palate cleanser or the whatever. Like, it's my base. I can start here before I start exploring. Like, I'm going to play Donkey Kong. And when I got the Mister, I think it was the first thing I played on the Mister. Like, let's fire it up. Let's play Donkey Kong, see how it runs. Yeah, it's just classic. It's simple. It's easy. It's got a great documentary based on it. But I also, I don't know what else you could do with Donkey Kong these days, but I do miss the old era of Donkey Kong. The Rare era is fine, but it's a completely different Donkey Kong to me. And I'm kind of sad that they didn't do anything for the 40th anniversary, which just happened, Friday the 9th, I think is the exact 40th. But yeah, nothing out of Nintendo. No Donkey Kong 40, no, yeah.
That would have been interesting. Just have that original level. Just survive.
Yeah, 40 times.
Yeah.
That would have been, yeah. Why not?
No, they could have easily done it like Mario. I forgot Mario had a whole stage-based and stuff. They could easily done it like that.
Yep.
Damn.
Every time you, I don't know, every time you hit a thing with a hammer, it sends a flame to another screen. Or, yeah. Or maybe you build one big... I don't know, they could do some weird stuff with Donkey Kong.
You clear a stage, you get like a screen, like one screen wipe. If, things get in. Yeah. The possibilities.
Yeah, if you do the Pie Factory, then maybe Donkey Kong will fall in the... I don't know, something like that.
I would love for them to bring that NES... They're not NES. That Game Boy game.
the one that inspired like all the weird Mario 64 jumps and stuff.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they did have all the weird jumps in that. That's great. Yeah, like do something like bring that to Switch. I would love to play that.
You have to imagine at some point with like these Game & Watch mini things that they will eventually do a Game Boy Mini or whatever. Like, you know, they're not even doing Game & Watch minis, but they're doing like those. They did the Mario one, now they're doing the Zelda one. Hopefully they do a Game Boy one and they have stuff like that on it. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, I don't know why.
That's like a really good Game Boy game.
Yeah, maybe today's audience just isn't as patient for that kind of stuff, but
I don't know, but you have all these puzzle games now. And I guess they do different things, but you know, there is a puzzle game audience and those games are they're platformers, but they're mostly puzzle games because you have to do all the timing and stuff.
Yeah. I think somewhere in here. There she is.
Got the cart.
Right next to my Game Boy Light, my Worm Light. I got your old Donkey Kong and James boy.
All right, and it was on that Game Boy Super, right?
Yeah, Super Game Boy Game Pack.
Super Game Boy.
Yeah, I mean, you got Donkey Kong carrying Donkey Kong Jr. and Pauline. You got a very... Donkey Kong's super stoked to be doing it, too. And then you got Mario very agitated with a hammer. Swinging hard. But yeah, Donkey Kong 40 last week. Bot. There it is. There was that rumor pre-E3 about a new Donkey Kong game by the Mario Odyssey team. Do you feel like there's any validity to that? Or is it going to be the way of Star Fox Kart Racer?
I mean, I would think you want Mario team to be working on next Mario game. It would be, unless you have another team do another Mario game. I would have more Mario in the pipeline.
What do we do with Mario at this point, though?
He throws his shoes.
That'd be pretty good.
I don't know. I mean, God, he used a super soaker to save a town. So, you know, the possibilities are out there.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
I don't get paid enough to come up with their ideas. Their idea man, he can do that.
Would you want a 3D Donkey Kong? Like a new Donkey Kong 64 style thing? Or
I never played Donkey Kong 64, so sure, but I never played Donkey Kong Country, to be completely honest. So I've never been like the Donkey Kong guy. I don't think I mean to do that, but like
I think
the
if
one
you wanted a
I never owned the Country games on SNES. I didn't have an N64, didn't have a GameCube. Had a Wii. Was there even a Donkey Kong game on Wii?
Yeah, you had that was the one where Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Oh, okay. Well, I missed that one.
And the that one was good from what I played of it, but I never played all the way through it. But I did play the Wii U Tropical Freeze, which is now on Switch.
Obviously, my love of the Wii U only got me so far in that catalog of games. So,
but that thankfully they brought that to Switch, so you can play it there if you wish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Matt, why don't we close out on looking a little bit closer than 40 years ago, and we'll go back a decade. I've got in my hands an issue of the official PlayStation magazine.
Uh-oh.
From 10 years ago. I'm looking at...
Is Mark Cerny asking for ear pictures then as well?
Yeah, the Reader's Most Wanted. Mark Cerny wants... they've got a Metal Gear Solid Field Coat you can buy. They've got a Gran Turismo Windbreaker. So here's the top games people are talking about from a decade ago. Let me go back to number 1 here.
What? 2011, right? Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't
10
seem
years
that
ago.
long ago.
It doesn't, but it was. Boy, was it. So 10 years ago, number 1 on PlayStation Magazine's The Big Ten. This is issue 48, August 2011. So this would have been like hitting store shelves right around this time. Maybe a little bit after. But number 1, Hitman Absolution.
Oh. All right.
That is, boom. It looks much more high res than I would have remembered for PS3. Number 2, there's this video game called The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, and they've got an interview here with somebody named Todd Howard.
Wait, hold on.
Funny.
What month is that magazine?
It says August.
So that's before its release, I think. Or right
Yeah, because the release was 11/11/11.
Right, and then the PS3 bug with that game.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad I was getting his press then. Remember? Oh my god, remember all that stuff that ended up coming out? Like everyone thought it was weird that the PlayStation version never got reviewed, or it never got PlayStation review copies, and
Yeah.
people plugged it in for 2 hours and were like, "Yeah, it seems fine. I don't know why we didn't get one, whatever." And then turns out like 30 hours into the game, your shit crashes.
Yeah, if you have
Wild.
too many things in your inventory because RAM can't. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did did they ever put mods out on PS3?
I thought they patched it.
Okay, because he's talking about that in here about how they wanted to do PC style modding.
That didn't come until later in the Fallout 4 life cycle.
Not even Skyrim?
I don't think so. I don't
Oh,
remember.
well, they were-
I don't remember
They wanted
that
to back then.
because I think I think the hard thing with modding, and it became kind of sort of controversial, but everything is now, with how to pay the developers of the mods.
Right. That was a mess. Number 3, you've got Rayman Origins, which I loved. Rayman Origins.
Never played it
so much. Oh, it was just such a solid platformer. It kind of like
Origins
felt
and
like
Legends
those Donkey
both
Kong
kind of
games.
rebooted that. Not rebooted, but like revitalized that franchise, right?
Yeah, because at this point, Rayman had really leaned into the Rabbids part and gotten away
Right.
from the like 2D platformer, and this was like a return to form. And then yeah, Legends was I think a year later and added some different things to it, but Origins was just so much fun. Number 4, you got yourself a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy developer Eidos talking about
Is that Deus Ex?
Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Man.
Number 5 brings Metro Last Light. Number 6, Ace Combat Assault Horizons. Which platform was that? PS3? I guess so. Number 7, Call of Duty Elite is a new web service that lets you view your best moments, view your game history, etc., etc.
Yeah. Man. That was when Call of Duty was king.
Yeah, these are like the big 10 stories it says.
2011 was right after Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, that's king.
All right, so we're gonna look at we'll close out on the readers most wanted in a second, which is number 9 on the Big Ten. But number 10 on the Big Ten is the question: is LA Noire better than Heavy Rain? So Matt, is LA Noire better than Heavy Rain?
Doubt it. No, LA Noire starts off so strong, but by the end of that game, you're tired of doing the same thing.
There it is. Heavy Rain keeps you guessing until the end. Jason. All right. Here are your top 20 readers most wanted from the official PlayStation Magazine 2011. Number 20. This is bottom of the list. What do you think's bottom of the list?
Repeat that one more time. What is the readers?
This is the top 20 readers most wanted.
These are games. All these are games. Right? Like
These are all video games. I believe these are all coming to... Yeah, these are all for PS3 in 2011.
Okay. So, God, number 20... There's got to be some dumb JRPG. Not dumb, but it's got to be a JRPG that I've never heard of.
Number 20 is The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim.
20? That's 20?
20. What's your guess right now at number 1?
Dude, that game's come out 20 different times, and that's number 20.
Knowing that Skyrim is at the bottom of people's most wanted list on PS3, what do you think number 1 is?
This is 2011. Call of Duty. What would it be in that year? World of War?
I'm gonna quickly.
That would be.
I'll quickly run up from 20 to 10, and we'll keep going.
All right.
19 is Dead Island. 18 is Eco and Shadow of the Colossus Collection. 17 is NCAA Football 12.
That might be the last
16
one.
is. It might be. 16 is Max Payne 3. 15 is Fear 3. 14 is Duke Nukem Forever. More people excited about Duke Nukem Forever than Skyrim. Number 13 is Mass Effect 3. Number 12 is Ratchet & Clank All for One. Number 11, Bioshock Infinite. Number 10, Need for Speed The Run. Any guesses for some of the remainders up here in the top 10, thinking about that era? There's a couple of first-party PlayStation games.
Madden.
Okay, all right.
Maybe
Madden
a
is number
FIFA.
5.
Maybe a FIFA.
FIFA's not on the list.
Um,
There are 3 first-party Sony games.
2011. That was the year. Okay, so that was the year of the Meltdown.
Mm-hmm.
Is Twisted Metal came out late that year? Twisted Metal in there?
It was supposed to, but Twisted Metal ended up coming out in February. But yeah, Twisted Metal is number 7 on this list.
All right. Uncharted was 12, right? So Uncharted 3 or 2?
Uncharted 3 was 11.
Right. I knew they did
year.
some of the... Okay. Yep. So... Yeah,
What's the third big one? You know it.
So
you didn't play it, but you know it.
Know it, but didn't play it.
From one of your favorite developers. It was a first-party game developed... Nope. First-party game developed by a non-first-party studio at the time.
At the time?
Yeah.
So they were... It's not Insomniac, is it? No, they just did All for One.
There's another one.
Oh, they had a sec... What does an Insomniac do?
Resistance 3?
Right! Oh, I completely forgot about that franchise.
Yep. So number 10, they had Need for Speed The Run. Number 9 is Resistance 3. Number 8, Batman Arkham City. 7, Twisted Metal. 6, Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. 5, Madden NFL 12. Number 4, Final Fantasy 14. Number 3, Final Fantasy 13-2. Number 2, Battlefield 3. And your most wanted reader's choice, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
3. Okay.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh, right, because 10 was... That's right. 10 was Black Ops. 11 was 3.
But man, I remember actively counting down the days until Arkham City was out. You also got a preview in here for Starhawk, Prototype 2. A lot of Dead Island coverage in this book.
Dead Island had a lot of press. A lot. For a mediocre game.
Journey's got like a quarter page, not even a half page.
Who had a quarter page? Sorry, I missed that.
Journey.
Oh.
Speaking of Ridge Racer, you got Ridge Racer Unbounded, getting a small eighth of a page. They did not get a lot of... Yeah. Then a whole cover story on Ninja Gaiden 3.
I guess this is post Rock Band stuff at this point, right? The guitar peripherals have gone and crashed at this point. Then you could
they were pretty
could
much gone.
Maybe buy one at GameStop for 10 cents.
Yeah. Well, I think Rock Band 3 may have been coming out that year, 2011. And that because 3 was the one that added piano. I remember that being a big deal.
Right.
They got a whole feature on Catherine. which I've yet to play. I need to go back and play that. Speaking of Atlas.
That is one of those games that you unfortunately cannot walk away from and come back to because the puzzles are that fucking challenging. And I did exactly that. And I can't get myself to go back through like the first 4 nights again.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to either. What a time.
It was crazy.
What a time.
That game was crazy. And I enjoyed a lot of time, the time I did put in with it. I don't know what made me go away from it or if I just kept failing at a puzzle and it finally... I had enough, but man, that is a good game. I do recommend that.
They've also thumbing through this, man. They've got reviews for Shadows of the Damned, Infamous 2.
All right.
Infamous 2 got the PlayStation Magazine Gold Award.
Well, deservedly so. That's a very good game.
Super Street Fighter 4, Hunted, The Demon's Forge. Yeah. What a time, man.
And that's when all games got. That's when all games got coverage too. Like all.
Yeah. Which I guess some websites probably still do that, but you can also check out this website.com where you can pick up phone cases for your iPhone 4. What make it look like let's see, this one makes it look like a cassette tape. This one makes it look like it's a rusted pole. This one makes your iPad look like it's actually a bookshelf full of VHS tapes. So
great.
And they're dishwasher safe. PlayStation Magazine. Brought to you by the PlayStation NGP. I guess at that point they were calling it the Vita. After E3 2011, it had been named the Vita.
And everyone was like, what the fuck is a Vita?
The future, man.
Life.
Or at least for a time it was.
For about 2 years.
God, I loved that thing so much, you know. Jim Ryan had to go and slit its throat. Matt, what are you getting into this week?
I didn't come to the table here with a lot to play, but I have been playing my fair share of Shin Megami Tensei. I just get right before we record, I was reading the official thread on Reset Era, and someone asked if this game is hard. Their answer was no, but it's punishing. And yes, I get punished, and I don't want to play this game for like 4 days, but the itch comes back. Yeah. That's what happened. I beat a boss. Easy peasy. Went through about 10 minutes later, before reaching a save point, I got an insta-kill bullshit probably right before a save point too, which is the frustrating part. And I haven't touched that game since, but it's calling out to me. So Shin Megami Tensei, I don't know what else. I kind of dropped off Final Fantasy VII because, like you said earlier, you can only play one JRPG at a time.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to balance all that.
So, yeah, I still play baseball. The All-Star game is around the corner, so all the All-Star cars have been released for their
that's cool.
Diamond Dynasty mode, so I'm going to try to grind out and maybe get the Cedric Mullins one, if there is one, the Orioles representative. I haven't been playing a lot, but I've been playing is the stuff I've talked about. No need to keep saying the same thing.
It's that time of the year. Skyward Sword's out this Friday, which I'm skipping on Switch, but I've been thinking about going back to on Wii, and then I also think, why would I do that? I don't know. I'm going to keep playing with PSP stuff and just kind of taking it easy.
I might play Super Liminal. I forgot I had purchased that on sale through GMG, so I think I might check that out this week finally. Still hopping in and out Warzone, Modern Warfare, Black Ops.
Yeah. I know Mark has expressed some interest in checking out the Johnny Depp storyline of Sea of Thieves, so we might
the Harvey Dent
poke at some of that.
Pirates of the Caribbean storyline.
Yeah, exactly. Harvey Depp. Well, that's it. If you like this episode, if you want to let us know which game you think is the best party or share your Donkey Kong memories, podcast at thefreecheese.com. You can follow us on Twitter. The Free Cheese is at some Free Cheese. Matt is at MattyAce131. That's it until next week when we're back with more topics, more things to talk about. Maybe another Switch model. Who knows what the week will bring. Until then, thank you, Matt. Thank you, listener, for listening. Have a great week. Goodbye.